Ooh, chair with arms. Okay. Well, that was fun. I know on a national scale there was, some, a little bit of snarkiness about the fact that as the bowl pairings, as they began to present themselves, that we ended up with two conference opponents playing each other. And obviously that's not ideal. But look, I thought it was a really fun football game. There were plays made on both sides. It was a good night. I imagine it was fun to watch. I imagine my father got some more gray hair watching it. I know I did. One of the things that we talked about with our team from the moment that the bowl matchup came out was that we wanted to be grateful. We wanted to be appreciative of the opportunity to get another chance to compete as a family. And we were not going to be in any sense disappointed about how everything played out. And I want to publicly acknowledge and say thank you to the folks from the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl because they treated our kids wonderfully. This was a great experience. It was a great bowl. And this game's going to grow and be a really good destination for people. I'm very proud of our team. I'd be lying to you if I told you that this game wasn't meaningful. To finish with a winning record was important to me. We've had a lot of ups and downs this year. And a lot of the ups and the downs were of our own making. But, we finished the year with a winning record, and we finished with a bowl win. And for some reason, those have been hard to come by at our program historically. I'm very thankful for these coaches. I'm very thankful for these seniors, these players. This is my first win as a head coach in a bowl, and that's incredibly meaningful, and I will remember these guys forever for it. We talked last night in the hotel about how in our business, football seasons kind of mark time. You remember, where you were coaching when you brought your first child home. It's just kind of that's how it works in our business, and this group gets to mark time with a bowl win and a winning record, and that's meaningful, and we'll remember that. And so, hell of a football game. James Butler played great. He's a special person. He was doing an interview coming off the field, and the first thing he said was, I want to thank the union, the offensive line, and the bowl people for what a great experience it was. And I think that's symbolic of the kind of kids that we have and the kind of kids we want to recruit. He had a great night. I think I need to mention Jim Hoffer. I thought did a really nice job, filling in as our play caller tonight. We had good plan. Obviously there were some plays that we left out there. The two holding penalties negating first downs hurt us, but ultimately we found a way. The last drive was a thing of beauty. 3.5 minutes to go, 3 timeouts. No need to start chucking it all over the yard because that's not who we are. We felt like, we could get a decent start on 1st and 10, that we get it going, and the mix-in of the tempo there, but still running the ball. And Tyler, great decision to pull it on the zone read, got us going. And obviously I was happy that we scored the touchdown, but had we not, they had no timeouts left. We could have brought that thing down to about 20 seconds and had the ball in the middle of the field for a 15-yarder. I'm glad we scored, but obviously, we were gassed at the end. They ran a lot of plays on offense, so I was a little concerned at the end about whether or not we're going to be able to hold on. We found a way to get some rush at the end. Ian played great, and ultimately made a tackle inbounds, and they had no timeouts, and we were able to milk the clock before they were able to get a shot at the end zone. So a lot of emotions right now, tired, anxious to go back to Reno and take a deep breath, but very, very proud of this team, and extremely blessed to be associated with these coaches and players. So with that, take any questions.
How much does James's game tonight get you even more excited for his future?
Very. James is a good player, and he gets hard yards. He makes people miss. He runs through arms tackles. He's a good player. We got to go find his complement now, because the way that we're dedicated to running the ball, we want two backs, and we got to figure out now that Don Jackson has finished a really good career. Who's the next guy going to be that we can feature and keep two going and healthy? But I think James was fantastic, and he's such a great kid. And it's he played great football this year. He played his best football at the end of the year, and he got the highest GPA he's had in college. He's a team leader. The sky's the limit for that guy.
I think you hit on most of the big plays, but the kick return, how important was that? Just with some momentum.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm remiss for not mentioning. I felt like going into the game, the special teams were going to be the X factor in the game, and they scored 21 points, I believe, against Fresno in the kicking game in the last game of the year, and we had not played well in the last quarter of the season on the special teams. And Lester Erb and myself and a bunch of the other coaches, we took the extra time that we had leading up to this game to go back to basics and really work on the fundamentals. And we knew we had to play to at least a draw tonight in the special teams for us to have a chance to win the game. I think looking back at the game, the missed PAT hurt, and it affected, how you were going to call the game. But, we covered kicks really well. I believe Brent made 3 field goals, and the kick return for a touchdown is a huge play. And I was hoping for a draw, and we got a win. And to me, that's the difference in the ballgame.
What would you say about Ian Seo's impact on this game, especially that turnover he forced in the beginning?
Ian's a very, very good player, and he's a wonderful kid, and he played great. In his last college game, he played great. And I had about 3 weeks to recruit Ian. He was not. He was committed to San Diego State when we got the job. And I'll be forever indebted for the faith that he showed in our staff to join us. And he leaves as a bowl winner, and he leaves as one of the most decorated pass rushers in our program's history.
Did you think at all of kneeling down at the end there and, like you said, kicking with about 20 seconds left and not putting your defense back out there given how many plays they had? Or was that?
To be honest with you, with the way that they were loaded in the box, we ran the ball to the left to center it. But I'd be lying if I thought we were going to punch a hole in that and score. I did not think about kneeling on it. One of the reasons, quite frankly, is because we're not under center very much, and I don't want to all of a sudden put the quarterback under center when we don't do that very often. And so, but we were running the ball to get it centered. The fact that we scored is all on number 20. It was a great individual effort. I was prepared to center the ball with the inside zone to the left, and I was going to let the clock go all the way down, take my time out, and kick it with 20 seconds to go. Jared Joseph, you think about Jared Joseph caused 2 holding penalties on kickoff coverage tonight on Colorado State, and he did it again on the last kick, and that ended up being a pretty valuable 10 yards of real estate. So it wasn't pretty, but we found a way at the end, and that's all that matters.
What are you feeling as they cross the 50, cross the 30?
Agita. I'm feeling stress. I don't know. I felt like we were going to be okay. We were playing it the right way. We did not feel like with no timeouts that they could throw 12-yard curls and 15-yard digs down the field in a minute and score a touchdown, that eventually the ball was going to have to be thrown down the field. And when that happened, our pass rush would have a chance to get home. And really we were defending. We had our backers deep and we had our safeties deep, and we were defending shots down the field, and felt like as long as we could tackle them, eventually, we'd get one where the clock was rolling and be okay.
It seemed like the red zone defense was a key for you guys. I mean, they got in there 7 times, but only scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, they put up a lot of yards, 532, but was that key, just keeping them in the field goal and then that one, 4th down stop?
Yeah, it was. It was a really big deal, and yards are not the biggest. I mean, yards are just a stat that people like to talk about. I mean, it's points. Points is the bottom line, and we bowed up when we needed to. And I'm not happy about some of the misfits on the runs, and we had a couple 3rd downs where we're in man coverage and they throw a screen. Well, we're supposed to have a guy on the screen, and he was floating. That stuff's a little annoying, but ultimately, when we needed to get a stop a couple times tonight, we found a way to get it. The one thing I was a little surprised by, quite honestly, their up-tempo and being in 11 personnel and throwing the ball in the first half caught us off guard. Because when you study them on film, that's not who they are. They want to run the ball. And then the way they played in the second half was what we thought we were going to see throughout the course of the game. I don't know why they felt like that was going to be, and I don't say it disrespectfully, I really don't know why. It's not like we're the 85 Bears stopping the run. So I was a little surprised by that, and it took a little while to get adjusted to. And then, frankly, in the second half, we were just kind of holding on. They wore us down a little bit. But when we needed to find a way to make stops, we got it. And when we needed to make one last stop to get off the field, we found a way to get it done.
How well has Butler improved from the start of the season to tonight?
He's gotten stronger, and it's been impressive. He really does a great job of taking care of his body. He studies the game. His maturity from last year to this year is taking a big jump. He's been great, and obviously we hope that maturation continues.
It might be too early to kind of look at the entire season, but do you see this season as a success and another step forward in the evolution of the program?
I do see it as a success, Chris, and I know there'll probably be people that follow our program that take umbrage with that because obviously we lost a very disappointing game at home to our arch rival, and that matters to people. And we lost a game up at Wyoming where, we didn't play very well, and everybody knows it. But winning is incredibly difficult, and the average fan doesn't understand that. Winning is hard. Winning at a place like ours where we have challenges that are unique, even compared to our peers in our own league, winning is difficult. And we are 7-6, and that is a winning season, and that matters. We've won a bowl game, and it's been a long time since our program. I mean, we just haven't won a bunch of them. I mean, 3 in the modern era, correct? That matters. Am I satisfied? No. And I don't want people to think that I'm satisfied, but I am not going to downplay the character and the fight that these guys have shown when a lot of people, frankly, gave up on us at different parts of the season. I appreciate the job that they've done. We want to improve. Of course we do. But I'm not going to sit here and say that this season wasn't a success. And anybody that says that it wasn't doesn't understand the business that we're in and doesn't understand how hard it is. And frankly, that's okay. But their opinion as it relates to our football family, it matters what we think. It matters what we've achieved. And I think it also matters that our team has represented our university and our community in a first-class manner. And our kids are student athletes. They are truly student athletes. We just rolled out a 2.9 during the football season, which is incredibly difficult to do. We graduate our players. Our APR is at an all-time high. Those are all things that we can build off of, all things that we should be proud of. And I'm not satisfied, but I take umbrage with anybody that thinks that this group's not successful, because they are in every facet, on the football field, in the community, and in the classroom. And those are the things. This is college football. Those things matter. It's not the NFL.
You were talking about the snarkiness about the game with 2 teams, 2 opponents from the same conference. Are there any bold changes to the system that you would like to see? or recommend, or?
Yeah, when a 5-7 team from a power conference gets placed in front of a group of 5 team that earned the right to be in a bowl, I have a problem with that, and that's part of what happened here. 5-7 Power 5 conference teams were not left to the end and placed to fill in the spots. They were placed before 6-6 teams are. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what I think. Money talks. The Power 5 has all the power for a reason, and that's kind of what got schools like ours hung up. But we won 6 games. We earned the right to be in a bowl. Those are the rules. And it's my opinion that the teams that earn the right to be there ought to be placed first before the 5-7s are then placed. But that's simply my opinion, and clearly it doesn't carry a ton of weight. So.
The other thing you mentioned, you said it's not the NFL. It's college football.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, though, you've got some stellar athletes. Anybody you think we'll see on Sunday?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope that we got great news today. We now have, I believe, 3 players playing in all-star games. And Ian Seau, Don Jackson, and Lenny Jones, I believe, have all been invited to the NFLPA All-Star Game, which I might be called the Collegiate Bowl now. If I got it wrong, please forgive me. But that's the first step. And I do believe that Ian and Lenny and Don will have some guys that will get a chance. And that's all we can ask for, is that they get into training camps. Kyle Roberts got into the Broncos training camp last year, was probably seen as a long shot to make the team, was a practice squad, made the practice squad, which is a great start. But if that's a dream of theirs, we will do everything we can to help support that, but that's not what it's about. It's about graduation. It's about getting an education. It's about trying to make a difference in your community, and about enjoying the opportunity and privilege to be a college football player.
Can you talk a little bit about Ian and what makes him such a strong defensive player?
He's got a great first step. He's got great instincts as a pass rusher. And the one thing I really appreciate about Ian doesn't seek attention. He's very humble. He's got an incredible family. He just wants to go out and play, and he just wants to be around his teammates. That's all he wants. And you got to appreciate a guy like that, who is almost camera shy to a point, and just wants to play. And he's been really, really good with us here the last 2 years, and we're lucky that he was with us.